Book of the Night by Holly Black. I believe that I've already reviewed a Holly Black book. Or was I just talking about a Holly Black book? It's not a good sign when I've already forgotten what books I have reviewed when I'm literally like not even done like 10 of them. This is a hard copy of a book that I read as an audiobook. Holly Black is one of my absolute favorite authors. I absolutely adore her. Oh yes, the one that I reviewed previously was Coldest Girl in Cold Town, which is my absolute favorite book by her. It's so funny because since Holly Black is like one of my absolute favorite authors, I'd actually probably say this is like my 5th or 6th favorite book by her. And that doesn't mean it's not a good book, that just means there's a really high standard for her books. Like, I probably will do an actual like video summary of all of my favorite Holly Black books and why like ranked, but I think Coldest Girl in Cold Town is number 1. The Cruel Prince is probably actually not even 2nd, it's probably like 3rd or 4th, because I love the Modern Fairy Chronicles, so I'd actually say Coldest Girl in Cold Town, Modern Fairy Chronicles 1 through 3, then The Cruel Prince, just the first book. I'm not really sure I'm a fan of the whole series, and then probably this book. So yeah, it's about my 5th favorite Holly Black book. And it's very different than some of her other books. And I'm not, by the way, in that listing, I'm not including The Poison Eaters, the anthology of her short stories, because that would definitely be number 1. So this would be 6th if I included that. But no, I love this book. Let me read you the summary since I'm done ranting about how much I love Holly Black. Charlie Hall has never found a lock she couldn't pick, a book she couldn't steal, or a bad decision she wouldn't make. She spent her life working for glow-mists, magicians who manipulate shadows to peer into locked rooms, strangle people in their beds or worse, and to trick and steal from each other they need Charlie Hall. Finally out of the game, the lure of one last job drags Charlie back, even though this might be the mistake that costs her everything. Okay, number 1 New York Times bestselling author Holly Black's stunning adult debut, Book of Night, a modern dark fantasy of betrayals and a dissolute thief of shadows, now available in trade paperback. So the reason why I really liked this book was partially because it was definitely more an adult book by her, and I hope she writes a lot more books geared towards adults, although I think the Modern Fairy Chronicles were pretty adult. There were a lot of themes in there that I wouldn't necessarily consider appropriate for a child. I also love that she starts off the book with My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use to him is more than I can see. He's very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. That's just, it's a very cute beginning to a book that I would not call cute at all. There's a lot of violence, there's a lot of death, and yet it's kind of this like dark fantasy vibe with like this world of magicians who can do things with their shadows. Also, one of my favorite parts about the world that she developed in this book is that it's not just that they manipulate their shadows to do things, you can also get your shadow altered. It's like a cosmetic procedure to get your shadow altered. So like some people put horns on their shadows, and people give their shadow like wings, or they change the height of their shadow, or like different parts of how their shadow physically or visually appears, so it's not like a boring shadow. And apparently this is like a expensive procedure that they have to pay a lot for. I'm trying to record a video. Anyway, her writing style is beautiful. The old libraries that she describes in this book are beautiful. There's kind of like a horrific dark fantasy component where people are evil, there's evil magicians, there's people who care about her and she's doing okay, she has a support system, but then there's also people who really wish her wish bad things upon her. She has friends, she has colleagues, she has a boss, she has this kind of evil job that's kind of like keeping her back from her true potential. She's very smart. Kind of people with a shadow, people without a shadow. What does that mean for people? People with a, what is it, the quickening? I think that's what it's called, when your shadow becomes magical and you can do things with it. And also all of the social media online, like the fabricated online social media to do with shadows in her world. It's just very compelling, where you're like, oh, of course, if people really had sentient shadows, this is what it would be like. You know, because they'd be wanting what they didn't have. They would want to have magical shadows. They'd want to be able to participate in this magical part of the world. And then there are people who don't have magical shadows and who are going about their everyday lives. And that, I think, is what Holly Black does so well, is she combines the fantasy world so seamlessly with modern technology in the modern world, where you think, oh, this is possible. This is a world that we're almost kind of sort of living in. Like, what if that happened sometime? What if people's shadows did become magical? What if people could manipulate their shadows to look a certain way? What issues would that cause? What would it help? What sort of crime would come out of it? Like, new types of crime. It's really interesting how she's able to make such a compelling world building experience where you're totally believing it, you're totally on board. I just think it's really wonderful how she's able to write like that. So yeah, it's also kind of like a mystery. It's kind of like almost like a crime mystery, where she has to figure stuff out about different disappearances, perhaps different deaths that were mysterious. I'm not going to spoil a whole lot, but this is definitely a book that I would recommend reading. It kind of got me out of a reading slump when I was kind of not wanting to read again. So yeah, it got me back. So Holly Black, once again, is responsible for breaking one of my reading slumps. Yeah, the Modern Fairy Chronicles also did it for me like 2 years ago. I haven't gifted this book to anyone yet, but I might, because I really, if I find the right person, I will gift it to them. I love gifting people Holly Black books.